Okay, so here's the story. So, it was early morning on Wednesday, the 7th of August, 2024, today. And, like normal, I'm babysitting because both my parents work. And so we were making lunch. It was around 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock, around that time. And so, well, our normal lunch is sandwiches and ramen. Like me and my oldest brother. He's younger than me, but he's the oldest out of the three of them. There's three of them. And he was making his ramen because I already finished mine. Like he knows how to use the oven, and me and my parents trust him. He knows how to use it safely. But he didn't know that there was grease on the metal bowl underneath the stovetop. And he acts like it was smoking at first, and he's like, "Oh, it's about to be ready, so I should turn." Like it was on low. He's like, "Oh, it's about to be ready. I should turn it on high." Then it starts on fire. So my brother immediately turns it off. Me being stupid and thinking that, oh, water will stop it. No, it kind of made it a little worse. But it was already off, so it didn't make it too bad. It was pretty small. About, small. Probably about the size of a small Aloe After Sun bottle. It was small, honestly. And so, once I figured out that water couldn't stop it, I immediately got the boys out of the house, and then I ran straight to one of my neighbors. Because my next door neighbors weren't home, I had to go to the next house over, and they answered the door pretty quickly after not even ringing the doorbell. The older kid, he's about my age, and I told him, call 911, call 911. He's like, why? I'm like, there's a fire. And then he asked me, what's my street number? I'm not going to say it. But then eventually his mom took over the phone and told them about it, and asked me again what was my street number, and I told them, I was shaking. I was in my fight or flight mode. I was terrified. I was afraid we were going to get hurt. I've never experienced this firsthand. My dad, he's an ex-cop. He's taught us what to do when things like this happen. If someone breaks in, if there's a fire, we know what to do. If there's a huge gigantic fire, we're able to open our windows. And also, he taught us what to do if anything happens. Tornado. I live in an area where tornadoes can happen, but hurricanes and tsunamis cannot. I live towards Oklahoma and New Mexico. I'm a Texas kid. And so eventually, the fire department and the police officers get there, and the police officers were there first, and then 10 minutes later, the fire department arrives, the fire trucks. There's two of them. And so a little bit before they arrived, the kid that I told you about and his mom, they went inside the house to see if the fire was still there. It was not. And so the fire department came. They checked the kitchen, which was where the fire was at. I was in the room right next to it. And then my two younger brothers were in the room right next to it, because in my house layout, there's a kitchen in the final part, and then a dining room in the front, which was where I was at, and then a living room in the back, which is where my two younger brothers were at. And then my older brother, who was 9, he turned off the stove, like I said. He did everything he was supposed to. And then he immediately told me, once he turned it off, he immediately told me that there was a fire. I tried to set it off. I've already said this. I got them all out. And when I went over to the neighbor's house, I was shaking. I was terrified. I was so scared. Like, I was afraid something was going to happen. Like, it took me probably 15 minutes to calm down, even after they left. The police officers were super nice about it. They asked me a couple questions. Well, they asked the lady who was with us, our neighbor. They asked her a couple questions, like her name and things like that. And I told the lady, that our neighbor, that our mom wasn't home. She was at work, and neither was our dad. And we asked if we could stay with them for a little bit. I was terrified. I was in my fight or flight mode. And they get it. They got it. And thank you so much to the police officers and and first responders and everyone who works hard to keep our environment safe. And to my neighbors, I could not be more grateful for what you've been doing for my family. I could not be more grateful. Y'all have helped us out so much in ways you don't even know. I could not be even more grateful. I could not. Like, thank you so much. Seriously. Y'all really helped us out today. Thank you.